I told you, and you saw it here, I was at the Surfing Heritage Foundation. It's a palace up there. That right next door to the Surfer's Journal. So I go in there to do this thing. The senior curator, and you know who he is, he has a thing on the desk. And guess what? It's a LA Times article day before yesterday about Gidget. Holy Jesus. They just won't let it loose. It's summertime, and the assignment board says, get a reporter out there and we're going to do Gidget. You know, when you're 65, you're elderly. She's elderly. She's way over 65, and then they still, oh, the Gidget, oh, the Gidge. Well, that whole thing was a setup. I'll tell you how it was a setup. It was a setup with her uncle. It was a setup with her father. It was a setup with everybody. She was never at Malibu. When you go to Malibu, Gidget isn't there. You know they're sending her father goes up there knowing he's going to write this book about the poor fellas up there, their private lives. And they, oh Lord in heaven, they blew that whole thing out of proportion. And I'm really sorry if any of you, and all you people that are familiar with this, you're old. You know, you're not young people any longer. You're old fellas. Well, that whole thing was, what's that word? I forgot it. Fabrication? That whole thing was fabricated. She was never at Malibu. I saw her up there once. But then they said, oh, you show me a picture of her at Malibu during the years 1956, our Lord. You won't see any. She was never there. I don't know how she found out, but she'd run home and she'd tell her daddy, Fritz, about what happened at Malibu that day. And she's not there. I think what she was doing is she was hiding up in her car, this old beat up convertible, and she would run home and tell her dad Fritz, what was going on with the boys at the Boo. Well, I'm telling you, the curator pulled one over on me yesterday by presenting me with that thing, LA Times article about Gidget. I couldn't believe it. I says, they're still fooling people. People still think that happened. It never happened. Come on.